to the channel and welcome to the Ultimate Racing League. Now I know it's probably a little bit early for most people, so I shall probably spend most of this race talking to myself, but that's fine. You can all watch it back a little bit later on. Now then, we are with the Wednesday evening multi-class guys in the GR1s and the GR3s, so two championships running alongside each other on the same track at the same time. And we have reached the final race. It seems a bit of a long old season, but we have finally reached the last race. And well, what a race and a track we have for you. But before we go into that, excuse me, I'm going to go run down the league as it stands going into this race. So in the Group 1 Championship, we've got Woodrow on top at the minute on 147 points. Toby just behind him on 133 points. Fitzy, he's on 122 points, but unfortunately Fitzy has retired from the championship. But his points are still up there in third on 122. Neil Farmack in fourth on 119. So obviously he's going to go up into at least third. Brian Moncani is on 110 points in fifth position. Sixth is Matt on 94 points. Seventh is Fazer on 83 points, and eighth is Chuck on 34 points. So that was that's the Group 1 table. The Group 3 table, we've got Derg, who is well, he's unstoppable now, isn't he? He's on top on 171 points. Grasshopper is second on 147 points. Unforgiven in third on 117. Osman, he's on 108 points in fourth position. C. Brownie, 91 points in fifth. Slowpoke in sixth on 82 points. Biggie in seventh on 78. And Stealth in eighth on 77. Excuse me. So they're the points going into this race. So it looks like Derg's already got it wrapped up for the Group 3 guys, so well done to him. A fantastic season from Derg and a much-deserved win of this championship, so congratulations to Derg. Woodrow almost got it sewn up. He's just 14 points ahead of Toby, so all he's got to do is finish in front of Toby, and Woodrow will have this the Group 1 Championship sewn up as well. So the race is on between Woodrow and Toby, I think. We'll see how we get on. Now for the final race, we have come to Germany, to the super famous Nurbergring. Some have been really looking forward to this. Some, like myself, have been absolutely dreading it. So yeah, we are in for a bit of a treat, I think. Now, we have had to get some guest drivers in because, excuse me, there was quite a few cars actually smashed up and written off during practice. So some of the regular drivers are still laying in hospital and recovering from their injuries, and so we've asked a couple of guys to step in. So we'll let you know who they are as we go through the grid. So I think we've got about 12 on the grid, 12 or 13th on the grid. So we've got a few cars out there. So we're going to run down now. It is reversed grid according to the league in their respective groups. So obviously the Group 1 guys are going to be ahead. Their championship grid positions are reversed, and the same for the GR3 guys. So, excuse me, all right, frog in my throat this morning. So Fazer will start on pole. We're going to go down the grid and let you know where they are. So as mentioned, Fazer is on pole. Brian Moncani is in second. Neil Farmack is third. Toby is fourth. Woodrow is fifth, so that's an important starting setup there for those two. Toby just ahead of Woodrow. It's going to be interesting to see if he can keep it that way. So that's it for the Group 1. Only 5 cars for the Group 1 Championship on track. Into the Group 3s, we've got Stealth in 6th, Biggie is 7th, Slowpoke is 8th, Unforgiven 9th, Grasshopper 10th, Derg is 11th, And then we've got the two guest drivers. We've got Wayne G and Nigel in 12th and 13th. So great to have those guys on track. Both very quick drivers. So we'll be keeping an eye on those as they make their way through the pack, as I'm sure they will. But we'll go back up to Fazer, and we will ask him to get this race underway. Now we are on the 24-hour layout, and well, what a track this is. 16 miles, or just over 16 miles long, 170 turns. Now, I'm not even going to attempt to memorise the names of them. We do know there is the famous carousel, and it looks like we've had a bit of an issue. Let's just go back to the start. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Was it Brian Moncani just going a little bit wide as we go through turn 2? Yes, it was. So Brian, unfortunately, getting himself a little bit out of sorts in the opening lap. Now, as I was saying, this track, 16 miles long, 170 turns. It's actually made up of two tracks. We've got the Nordschleife, which is about 12.5 miles long, and has got 154 turns. And then you've got the GP circuit, just over 3 miles, 3.5 miles, and that's got 16 turns on it. The GP circuit obviously designed for the F1 racing. So it is a big, scary track. The first section, they say, is the easiest, but I don't think it is. As we're looking at the Group 3 guys, Grasshopper in 7th, Biggie out in 6th, so he's got by Stealth already. Stealth has dropped down to 8th. Slowpoke in 9th, Derg in 10th, Derg in the all gold winners Mercedes. Car looking absolutely fantastic. It's a bit like, I can't remember his name, is it Michael somebody or other, who wore the gold boots at the Olympics when Derg's wearing the, not wearing, he's got the gold livery on his car, and why not? It looks absolutely fantastic, Derg. Wayne G in 11th, Unforgiven. He's already dropped down to 12th, so Unforgiven is having a bit of an issue at the beginning of this race. Wayne G in 12th, and then Nigel in 13th. So we'll go back up to the top now. Toby has made his way up into the lead. He's in P1 at the minute. He's got Neil Farmack all over the back of him. Now I think this trick is going to be a bit of a tricky one for these guys in the Group 1 cars. I just think the cars are just too quick for this track. But I'm sure these guys will prove me wrong. The thing with the Group 1 cars is the faster you go, the more downforce you get. So you've got to have a lot of faith as you throw these things into these corners. And let's face it, there are a lot of corners. This track also known as the Green Hell, and you can see why. There is just grass everywhere. There is no real anything to keep you on track. There's no runoff areas, and you can understand why some of the cars have been smashed to bits during practicing. So Woodrow up into third. He doesn't want to lose sight of Toby, does he, out in front? Remember, these two are first and second in the championship. So Woodrow, if he can finish ahead of Toby, then he will have the championship sewn up. At the minute, Neil Farmack is separating the two of them. But it looks like these three starting to just pull away a little bit. Brian Moncani in 4th. He's on his own at the minute. Oh, as Brian has a bit of a slam into barrier, and I'm sure he's not going to be the first. Fazer in 5th as he's just coming round. Is he going to catch up to where Brian is, or can Brian get going again? Oh, Brian just about got going before Fazer got to him, but I'm sure Fazer's going to be right on the back of him very shortly. Grasshopper out in 6th. He seems to be pulling away from the rest of the GR3 guys. Stealth in 7th. Derg has made his way up into 8th, with Nigel in 9th, Wayne G 10th, Biggie 11th. Unforgiven is 12th, and well, there I am down at the back, and that's pretty much the story of my race, so we'll not dwell on that, shall we? So back up to the front then, and the top 3 are really having a fantastic battle. Toby leading the way with Neil Farmack just behind, and Woodrow just trying to stay in touch. So let's jump on board with Neil Farmack and have a look at what he can see out of that little, well, it's like a letterbox slit, isn't it, that windscreen. This is the fastest part of the track, I think. It's just foot down all the way through these turns. And I think we are not too far away from the famous carousel. It is it's a bank 210 degree left-hander. That is, here we go. A fantastic bit of track, but very scary when you hit it at speed. But these three seem to be making it look very easy, don't they? Now then, while I was looking at all of that, Wadru got in front of Neil Farmack, didn't he? I wasn't paying attention, so sorry about that. Oh, it was Neil scraping the barrier. But Neil now down in third, Wadru up to second, and all over the back of Toby. Now there are no tyre rules for this race, so there is no mandatory pit stops. You can use whatever tyre you like. It's up to you if you want to stop. I think the fuel is only set at 1 as well, so there's going to be plenty of fuel for the guys to get round. We're looking at 9 laps for the Group 1 guys, and for those in the Group 3 cars, it's, well, just get as many laps as you can in. Probably around about 7, I think, for the Group 3 guys, but the Group 1 and Toby and Wadru making this look so easy, aren't they? Just shows the quality of the drivers at the Ultimate Racing League. Well, I say that, you've got these two up at the front, and then you've got me down at the back. So it is a proper mixed bag of drivers at the Ultimate Racing League. So if you are thinking of joining, then well, yeah, come and join us. And I'm just going to go back a little bit because I've just noticed, oh come on, I've just noticed Woodrow managed to get a move done on Toby. So let's just have a look at where that was. Seems a little bit way back at the minute, doesn't he, Woodrow? So it looks like he can be making any moves anytime soon. Oh, as Toby goes off and gets himself onto the kitty litter, and Woodrow just says thank you very much, I'll have a bit of that as they go through. It's like a second carousel, not as vicious as the first one. But Wadru couldn't believe his luck there. That was handed to him by Toby. Neil Farmack goes through as well, so Toby now drops down to third from P1, just through that one slight mistake as they get onto the fast straight. Now I'm not sure how long this straight is, but this really is foot to the floor and get the maximum out of these cars. And surprisingly enough, I thought they'd go a bit quicker than this, but Toby's looking at what, 188, 189. It's all about the slipstream in this section, and Neil Farmack is definitely in the slipstream of Wadru as we come to the end of that straight, through the final couple of corners, and then across the start finish line to start lap 2. So Wadru, we'll have a run down. Wadru out in front where he wants to be. Neil Farmack is in second, Toby is in third, Brian Carney fourth. He's coming under attack from Fazer. We'll just keep an eye on these two as they come towards the end of the straight. We'll see if Fazer can get any closer to Brian. It looks like most of the guys have chosen to go for the medium tyres. Grasshopper then leading the Group 3 charge. He's on the straight at the minute and coming towards the end of it. You can see the gap then back to Nigel. Well, Derg's there just at the bottom of the hill, so Derg is gaining on Grasshopper. Then we've got Nigel in the background. He's got Wayne G just behind him, and then Unforgiven is bearing down on Wayne G. So on board with Wayne G, we can see Unforgiven there. You can see that Wayne G, he's trying to break the slipstream from Unforgiven, but he also needs to try and stay in touch with Nigel just up ahead. Unforgiven getting closer and closer as they get to the end of the straight. Hard on the brakes, otherwise you end up kissing that barrier in front. Wayne G got a great exit out of that final turn to get right onto the back of Nigel. Now is he going to make a move before they get to turn 1? Wayne G looks like he's going for it. So the two guest drivers battling it out for P8, and it looks like Wayne G has got it done. Niggle tried to go around the outside, but Wayne G got it done. A great move from him. Niggle drops down to 9th, Unforgiven now in 10th, but he is all over the back of Niggle. Just seeing the background, Stealth in 11th, Biggie in 12th, and well, I'm down there. So out in front, Wadru still leading this little group, the top three. Neil Farmack in second, Toby still in third after his mistake. Cost him that couple of places. He'll be hoping that either Wadru or Neil do exactly the same thing so he can get back up there. Let's just have a look at the tyres. Like I said, I think most of the guys have chosen to go with mediums, so the front three... Oh no, they're not. Neil Farmack has gone with the softs. So Wadru doing a fantastic job, really, of keeping Neil behind him, considering the difference in tyres. Obviously, Neil Farmack's going to have the better grip on the soft tyres, and at the minute, there's no real difference in wear, so it just shows you that Wadru is doing a great job on the mediums. Neil Farmack on the softs. Toby is also on the mediums, so again, doing a great job of keeping up with Neil. Got Brian Moncarney with a half-second penalty in 4th. He's on the mediums. Fazer also on the mediums. He's got a penalty as well, so it looks like Brian and Fazer are choosing to do the same thing. Grasshopper's gone with the soft tyres. Derg also gone with the soft tyres, now up to 7th. My dust, it says, all over the back of his car, and well, that's pretty much what everybody's done this season. Right, shall we let's just get a better look at the livery on this car. You can't catch me. Heat white dust, slow traffic here. It looks like somebody's been busy on the old decal or decal front. He's got the Simpsons on there. What else have we got on there? Fat instead of cat, and Mr. Potato Head. Northern Ireland, made in Northern Ireland. Well, yeah, fantastic livery, Derg, well done. And I love the gold colour as well. Unforgiven in 8. Sparks flying off the back of that BMW. Now, this is probably where we're going to get people starting to spread out. Stealth is coming under a bit of attack from Niggle, so I'm not sure what happened to Niggle. He's obviously had a moment as well. I thought he were a bit further up the field than that, but maybe not. But he is chasing Stealth down at the minute. He's going to make a move. It's a very tricky track to overtake on. It's not that wide. And there's only really the one long straight where you can make the move. With the unfortunately with this track, you come out of one turn and you're straight into another one, so it's not like you've got an easy overtaking place. There are places to overtake, but none of them are easy, as Niggle is finding out. He will be desperate to try and get past Stealth. I think Niggle's got the pace, I think Niggle's got the pace. He may even be able to catch up to the back of Unforgiven, but he's got to get by Stealth at the minute. And Stealth is actually doing a fantastic job of keeping Niggle behind him. Wayne G down in 11th. He's obviously had a bit of a moment as well. He's sort of on his own at the minute. I'm down there in 12th. I've had lots of moments, which is why I'm down there in 12th. And the same with Biggie as well. He's had a few moments himself. And there's another one, which is why he finds himself down in 13th. So really not enjoying this track. Did Biggie, the same as myself. wasn't looking forward to it, and this is why. It's just a real struggle. You either, like I say, love this track or you hate it, and I think Biggie will be glad to see the back of it. But back up to the front. Oh, and Toby's got in front now then. Let's just see if we can find out where that was. No, we've got to go back too far. So sorry I missed that while I was looking at everybody else, but Toby has managed to get in front of both Neil Farmack and Wadru. Wadru drops down to second, Neil Farmack has dropped to third. Well, Neil has picked up a half-second penalty, so he's obviously had a bit of an issue and come off the track somewhere. Half-second is going to be for track limit, so Neil having to serve that. Doesn't really affect the Group 1 cars, I don't think, half a second. The acceleration on these things is just too good. So, yeah, it slowed him down a bit, but not that much. So let's just have a look. Toby, and Toby's got quite a gap between himself and Woodrow, which is exactly what he wanted, but he could really do with Woodrow finishing a lot further down the field than second. So, with the point situation, I think, I might be wrong, I'm not sure, it's 20 points for a win. Unless Dirk's watching and he can tell me different, but it's 20 points for a win and 17 for second, which will put Woodrow on what, 50, no, 60, oh, I'm not going to bother trying to work it out. Woodrow needs to win, and that's the championship's his. But at the minute, Toby is leading the way and looking comfortable again. Wadru in second, Neil Farmack in third. He was doing a great job, wasn't he, at one point, on the soft tyres as well. So we missed it, but he's obviously had a bit of a moment and come off the track, as just about everybody else in this race has. Brian Moncani in fourth, having a very lonely race is Brian. Fazer in fifth, likewise, he's all on his own. And that is the 5 GR1 cars, all on lap 3. Dirk still on lap 2. He's actually leading the Group 3 charge, and you can see he's now just got onto the straight. Still on lap 2. Grasshopper just behind him, so I'm not sure if Grasshopper's had a bit of a moment either. The trouble with a track that's this long, like I say, 16 miles of it, you can't keep up with everybody, so I do apologise if we are definitely missing things. But you can't watch everybody all the time, can you? Unforgiven down in 8th, Niggle then in 9th, all the guys spreading out now. Wayne G in 10th, Stealth 11th, Slowpoke 12th, and Biggie in 13th. So back up to our leader, Toby. He is really trying to stretch that lead, isn't he? Tyres look good, fuel looks good. They're on lap 3. And Toby really settling into his stride now. Wadru in second. Got some catching up to do, hasn't he? Gone purple as well. Toby with the fastest lap at the minute, a 7:16. We're used to watching these races where these guys are doing sort of 1.5 second, 2 minute laps. Now they're doing 7 minutes and 16 seconds per lap. But Wadru going purple again, so he's definitely on a charge, isn't he? Neil Farmack in third, Brian in fourth. Let's just see if we can find anybody that is battling anybody. Fazer in fifth, Berg is out on his own in sixth. Grasshopper in 7. Unforgiven, Niggle, Wayne G. There is nobody scrapping anybody, are they? They're all just completely spread out. Slowpoke in 12th and Biggie in 13th. All very, very spread out. So what we'll do is, so we can see, let's jump on board with Derg and see how it should be done. Excuse me, in a Group 3 car. Oh, I need a drink now. Let's have a quick swig. You enjoy the view of Derg racing around this track. I'm just going to have a quick swig and see if I can sort my throat out. Oh, sorry about that. So on board with Derg then. As well, this is pretty early on and on the Nordschleife circuit. A lot of blind corners on this track. For those that race it on a regular basis, you'll know what it's like. It's a pretty scary track. You can see why it's called the Green Hell. Derg making it look very easy though, isn't he? I would show you a comparison of Derg's lap against my lap, but all you'll see on my lap is me bashing into barriers and running across the grass, so it wouldn't be very entertaining. Derg doing a fantastic job of actually staying on the tarmac, and you can see why he's actually leading the Group 3 race. Nobody, well, I say nobody behind him. Grasshopper's there, but he is in the distance. So Derg under no real pressure at all. Just putting pressure on himself there. I thought he would have been a little bit too wide there and picked up some grass, but no. If that would have been me, I'd have spun round and faced the wrong direction, I think. But that's on board with Derg for a good section of this track. So we'll have a look and see what's happening elsewhere. Oh, Grasshopper in 7th in the Corvette. Unforgiven, he's picked up a half-second penalty in the familiar BMW for Unforgiven. Niggle in 9th. And Wayne G. Stealth, and then Slowpoke, and then Biggie in 13th. So back up to the top. Toby, whereabouts is Neil Farmack? You're right, Toby's onto the straight now. There is Wadru just in the background with Neil Farmack in 3rd. So I think the guys are catching actually. I think Wadru is starting to gain on Toby. And Neil Farmack on the soft tyres is trying to gain on Wadru, so that they're not within slipstream range at the minute. I think you have to be, is it just under a second, is it? Something like that. If you are just within a second, then you are in the slipstream, so they're not quite there yet. But I think Wadru is definitely gaining on Toby. Now, these two are leading the championship. Wadru in front on 147 points, with Toby on in second on 133 points. So I think if they finish in these positions with Wadru in second, Toby in first, I still think Wadru has got this championship won. I think Toby needs to win, and Wadru would need to finish way down. Bearing in mind there are only 5 Group 1 cars on track, so even if he finished 5th, he would pick up 12 points. Which would give him 59, and if Toby won and got 20, so I think Wadru would still win even if he finished 5th. Too early for all this kind of maths. Could really do with if Derg's watching, if you could tell me the point situation, but we'll not worry about it. I think I'm going to be pretty safe and say that Wadru's going to have this championship wrapped up. The only way he's not is if he gets a DNF now and gets absolutely 0 points. But even then, yeah, I think he needs 0 points and Toby needs to win. So let's just run down there. Neil Farmack. Neil Farmack's getting closer to Wadru as well, so we may actually see a battle soon. Toby Wadger and Neil Farmack starting to squeeze up. Brian Moncani in 4th. Fazer in 5th. Had a good season, has Fazer. It's his first season in the Group 1 cars. I don't think he'll be jumping back in very quickly, but I think he's done a great job actually. He's certainly improved. He's got a lot quicker since when he first joined a few months ago, and we do love having him on track. Derg leading the Group 3 charge as he is leading the championship. Well, he's got the championship one, hasn't he? Hence the gold Mercedes for Derg. Grasshopper in 7th in the Corvette. Unforgiven still carrying that penalty. Probably as you pick that half second up early in the race, and you've got a hell of a long way to go to get it served. It is actually on the straight, so Unforgiven will be serving that, well, pretty soon actually. He's just about to come on to the long straight. And there you go, he's being told he's going to be forced to slam the brakes on. So through the penalty zone he goes, and then power down, trying to get back up to speed again. I'm just looking for Niggle in the background, but you can't see him, and Niggle's got a half second as well. Wayne G down in 10th, Stealth in 11th, Slowpoke in 12th, and we've lost one already. Biggie has retired. I think he's had one too many crashes, and the car has just given up. So I'm looking for Biggie. He's had to retire, so we're now down to 12. We're back up to the top then, and well, things are getting a little bit closer now. Oh, as we see, Grasshopper's come into the pits. So Grasshopper's decided to pit. He's going to change his soft tyres. We're actually up at the pointy end with Toby. Wadrow is now right up the backside of Toby, putting the pressure back on again. So Wadrow is having a fantastic drive. We missed what happened earlier on because Wadrow was leading, and then all of a sudden Toby was out in front, and there was quite a gap. But Wadrow has managed to claw his way back and get within touching distance of Toby. Neil Farmack as well. He's there and thereabouts, hasn't he? And he has been since kick-off. So Neil just sitting behind those front two. So hopefully we're going to get a battle between Toby and Wadrow. As I say, the Group 3 challenges, that's already been decided. Derg has won that, and he's won it convincingly, and what a fantastic season he's had. So well done to him. The Group 1 challenge though is, well, I say it's open, it's not, it isn't. Wadrow is, what is he? He's 14 points in front of Toby. But I think Wadrow needs to not finish this race for Toby to actually win the championship. But hopefully that won't happen, and we will have a bit of a fight to the end. As Wadrow continues to chase Toby down. Neil Farmack getting a little bit closer as well to Wadrow. It'd be nice for Neil Farmack to get by these two and take a win. Brian Moncani in 4th. Great shot there. Brilliant drone control to stay in front of the car, looking backwards. Fazer in 5th. Group 3 leader, Derg, in his all gold AMG. Then we've got Unforgiven in 7th, with Grasshopper having made a stop. He's back out on another set of soft tyres, so he'll be looking to catch up to Unforgiven and get himself, well, we say it's 6th and 7th. Derg is actually in 1st in the Group 3 race. Unforgiven is 2nd and Grasshopper's 3rd. So Grasshopper obviously wants to get into 2nd position. Gets a bit confusing with the real track positions. Niggle 9th or 4th. Wayne G is 10th, Slowpoke 11th, and Stealth is 12th. So Stealth has made a pit stop as well. He was on the medium tyres, so Stealth has stopped, and he's put a set of soft tyres on, so he's going to try and catch up to the back of Slowpoke. That car looking very bashed and dented at the front, as most of the cars look. Well, most of the Group 3 cars anyway. I know mine certainly does. In fact, I'm surprised mine still resembles a BMW. I've tried to rearrange the front end that many times. So back up to the top then, Toby. Let's have a look. Where is Wadru? Well, it looks like Wadru is catching up, and then the gap seems to open up again. So is Wadru pushing too hard and making silly mistakes? He's got Neil Farmack right underneath his wing now. So is Neil Farmack going to be looking at making a move on Wadru? He's got a purple sector. He's actually got the fastest lap as well, a 707. 707.5. So Neil Farmack on the soft tyres, just gone purple as well, so he could well be trying to nick a position away from Wadru. And this is the closest we've got to a race actually, it's these three. I don't think anybody else is near anybody. No, they're not. Brian Moncani just coming to the end of the straight. Fazer just about to go onto the straight. He's just gone through the second carousel. Excuse me. Derg way out on his own. Unforgiven in 7th. I'm just looking in the distance. We just see Grasshopper come flying around that corner. So Grasshopper is he's making grounds on Unforgiven. Hopefully we'll get a battle between those two a little bit further on. You can see some damage on the front of Unforgiven's car as well. Like I said earlier on, everybody seems to have smashed into barrier at some point in this race. Grasshopper got a couple of scratches on the front of his car. Niggle in 9th, Wayne G in 10th, with Slowpoke down in 11th. Oh, we've lost another one, so Stealth has retired as well. Another one, another car written off, shall we say. So Stealth has retired. We are now down to 11 racing. This track really does destroy cars and morale and everything. Your will. Don't want to see it ever again. Some people are enjoying it though. Toby, Wadru and Neil Farmack. Have a look, where is Wadru? Let's jump on board with Wadru, shall we? As we can just see Toby there in the distance up ahead. Will he look behind? Well, Neil Farmack has dropped off the pace, hasn't he? As Wadru tries to catch up to Toby again. Now, like I said earlier, well, we're on lap 5, so we've got a few laps to go yet, so Wadru can afford to take his time, really. He doesn't have to push too hard. He's just got to run his own race, take his time, and he'll catch up to the back of Toby. But when you start pushing too hard, you start making silly mistakes. Surprised they can actually see the corners, they come at them so quickly. Just looking behind, and there is no Neil Farmack to be seen as Wadru goes purple through that sector. Now the ideal situation would be Wadru gets into the slipstream of Toby before they get onto the straight, so that he can possibly look at making a move on Toby. Now the best thing to do is make the move towards the end of the straight, because if you overtake right at the very beginning, all that happens is the guy will just plot in behind you and pick up your slipstream and regain the position towards the end like you want to, really. So in my opinion, the best thing to do is just sit there behind guy in front until you get near to the end of the straight, then make your move so that he can't come back at you then. But we will see what these guys do. These two really are out on their own now, so Neil Farmack has dropped off. Now the unfortunate thing with these replays is you don't get to see the distance in seconds. A great shot as we go through the carousel. And these G1 cars with very little in the way of suspension. The driver's being thrown all over the place. And Wadru is definitely catching up with Toby, isn't he? Every turn he seems to get closer and closer, and we're going to get to a point where Wadru is just going to have to sit behind Toby, because overtaking, as I mentioned earlier on, is really difficult on this track. It's just so narrow, and the corner is one corner after the next. Now I don't know if Toby is struggling or he's having an issue of some sort with that car, but Wadru just seems so much faster. And he is going to make a move. Oh, he had a look, didn't he? Wadru had a bit of a cheeky look there. He thought that Toby'd left the door open, and he fancied a shot at that one. You've just got to take your time, I think, Wadru. You think where you are on the track, you are not that far away from the straight, so I would just sit back. You've got plenty of time to make the move. Again, no Neil Farmack in the distance. I'm just going to stick with these two for these next couple of turns and then get onto the straight. This just coming up to the mini carousel bit. Another couple of corners and then we're on to the straight. Wadru doing an absolutely fantastic job of keeping that car under control. Now they're on the straight, so Wadru can get into the slipstream of Toby and make his move, although it doesn't appear to be gaining, does he? I don't understand this. Toby just, he seems to be maintaining the gap, maybe even pulling away a little bit. Now I forgot which cars they were in. I'm not very good at all of this sort of which car's which. So no, unfortunately Wadru couldn't get close enough to Toby. He was right under his wing, wasn't he, before they got to the straight. So I think Wadru's in the is it the Porsche? One of them's in the Porsche, one of them's in the Audi, I think. I'm sure somebody will tell me exactly which one's which. I never know. Neil Farmack has decided to come into the pits. He's sitting in third at the minute, and he's decided to come into the pits and get a fresh set of tyres. Brian Moncani in fourth then. He's had a very, very lonely race, hasn't he? Poor old Brian. Very hard to concentrate when you're on your own. Fazer also on his own. Down in fifth. Then we've got Derg in sixth. Just trying to look in the distance again. Unforgiven. Well, Unforgiven again. He looked like he got that corner wrong, didn't he? But he's currently sitting in seventh. He's got Grasshopper gaining. So we were hoping these two might have a bit of a fight. Not fisticuffs, obviously. A battle on track. So I think Grasshopper is he's gaining. And remember, he did make a stop and he's put a fresh set. What's that? 10 minutes behind Wadru needed to score. So, yeah, he did. Wadru did need to did not finish, I think, for Toby to take this championship. The niggle down in ninth with Wayne G. Oh, Wayne G. Well, what happened there? I think Wayne G had a bit of an issue. He may have had a disconnect, or well, I don't know. Let's just follow Wayne G through, shall we, and see what happened. We just locked onto him as his car was up against the barrier. He's got niggled just straight across. Didn't even bother turning the corner for that one, did he? Now then, is that a disconnect? I think Maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, he's gone. So that's another one down. We are now down to 10. And there I am in 10th. So up to the top then. Toby. Oh, Toby's picked up a half a second. With Wadru getting closer and closer. So Wadru seems so much quicker through the turns. But they get onto the straight and Toby just seems to pull away. And that is where the penalty zone is, on the straight. Hey Fazer, good morning, how are you? So Toby with a half second then. Wadru really does need to get closer. We've got quite a way to go before we get to the straight, and Toby has to serve that penalty, so Wadru's got time to catch up. Now, I mentioned it a few times, I personally I don't think that the half-second penalty is really anything to these guys in the Group 1 cars, because the pickup, the acceleration is just so quick. Yes, it does slow you down, but I don't think it really affects you that much. It will only really affect you if the car behind is basically sniffing your rear end. But we shall see. Basil said, glad this race is over. Yes, you and me both, my friend. Not my favourite tracks, as well. Anybody that watches regular will know that most of them are not my favourite tracks. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just not a good driver. Practice more. That's what I need. So anyway, we're watching Toby and Wadru. Toby with a half-second penalty, but he is out in P1 at the minute. Wadru sitting in second. We'll go down the grid. Neil Farmack has made a stop. He's back out on some fresh soft tyres, but he's got a bit of catching up to do if he wants to get higher up on the podium. He's there at the minute in third, which is a good result. But if he wants to improve on that, he's got some work to put in, but he is on the soft tyres. He's got the fastest lap, so well, we'll see what Neil Farmack can do. Brian's still down in fourth. Nearest to him is Fazer, who's a long way off, so Brian really is in no man's land, as is Fazer. He's basically got half a track to himself. There's not another car for miles, literally. Dirk, the same. He is in 6 for what? He's first. He's in P1 in the Group 3 race. And just looking off in the distance before the cameraman changes, there is no sight of Unforgiven. So Dirk looking very comfortable. Unforgiven in 7th. Grasshopper, he is down in 8th. He's not that far behind Unforgiven, so we do keep hoping that these two are going to have a bit of a battle, but Grasshopper's got a little bit of catching up to do. Let's jump on board with Grasshopper as we get onto the straight. Now, Corvette against the BMW. Now I'm trying to have a look at Unforgiven's car, and I'm just trying to judge if Grasshopper's catching, and I think he is. Slowly but surely. I don't think he's going to get close enough. Fazer says he's got rid of his car, the Group 1 car, which he nicknamed Christine. Bit of a little relationship those two had, so it looks like Christine is back in her box. And will stay there forever, as Grasshopper does get closer to Unforgiven. Not close enough to put a challenge in for P7 at the minute, but he is closer. Nigel down in 9th. Well, he's on his own as well, isn't he? Let's just have a look. Slowpoke, well, yeah, enough said. So Toby then, just about to call. Where's Wadru gone now? We leave them for a minute and something happens and they're separated. A minute ago Wadru was sniffing Toby's backside, and now there is that big gap. Now this is what I say, He needed to be so close to Toby because Toby will serve that half second, but he'll be back up to speed again within a second. So it really has not affected Toby. Wadru really needed to be a lot closer if he wanted to challenge Toby for that for P1 as they come towards the end of the straight, and Toby's still in front, and there is what, 2, 3, 4, well, quite half a dozen car lengths between the two of them. Probably only equates to about half a second, but the speed these cars go, that is quite a distance. So Toby across the line then to start lap 7 of 9. So 3 laps to go for these guys, the Group 1 guys. We'll have a look and see what lap Derg's on, which will give us an indication on what the Group 3 guys are going to be doing. But Toby's still out in front. He's led for most of this race. He did let Wadru have a go for a while, but soon took it back. So Toby's still out in front. If they stay like this though, Toby winning the race and Wadru coming in second, then I think Wadru is still going to have the championship sewn up. Wadru at the minute on 147 points, Toby on 133 points in the championship. So it is between these two, but as I say, if it stays as it is, 1 and 2, then Wadru will have this championship won. Let's have a look, see what everybody else is doing. Neil Farmack in third. Still Ryan in fourth. This is how it's been really for the last few laps, with everybody so spread out now. Fraser's saying he's definitely going to come back for the Wednesday league, and what a nice bunch everyone is. Yeah, they are, Fraser. Everybody, you know, we all like to have a laugh. People do get frustrated, but nobody takes anything personally, and we all kiss and make up afterwards, and we all have a good laugh about stuff, and it's great having you with us as well. So yeah, looking forward to the next Wednesday challenge. Not quite sure what it's going to be. There is talk of maybe the VW Beetle, the old F1, and also maybe the MX-5. So there is voting taking place at the minute. If you check out the URL website, Facebook page, we can have a look and you can find out details on there. If you are not part of Ultimate Racing League and you fancy having a go, then come and join us. If you check out the website, URL ultimateracingligue.com, there is a form on there. You can just put your name and details in, and we can get you on track. Or you can check out the Facebook page. URL, very big. 4 years it's been going now. One of the biggest clubs out there, I think. Great bunch of lads, all very helpful. Everybody says that their racing has improved by joining a league. So why not come and join us, and we can get you out on track. That's what Fraser did about 2 or 3 months ago, and he has come on leaps and bounds. Admits himself that his racing has got so much better since joining. Derg, championship winner. He was absolutely rubbish before he joined URL. Now look at him, he's out there leading the way in his gold AMG. Still trying to think of the name of the guy that wore the gold boots in the Olympics. Was it Carl Lewis? Might have been Cole Lewis. I don't know. Grasshopper in 7th. Oh, now Grasshopper has got ahead of Unforgiven. We were hoping for a battle, and they went ahead and had it without us. But Grasshopper moves up into 7th, with Unforgiven dropped down to 8th. Grasshopper on the soft tyres, Unforgiven on the mediums. Grasshopper has made a stop, so obviously using the soft tyres has paid off for him. He managed to get himself ahead far enough to make the stop, put some fresh tyres on, and he's managed to get past Unforgiven. Now Grasshopper taking a very strange line there through the carousel. Let's just go back and have a look. I don't know whether he meant to do it or he just got the entry wrong. I'm not sure, but he just seemed to miss the carousel out altogether and take the higher, wider line. Maybe that's the way to do it. Yeah, I mean, that to me looks intentional. So Grasshopper obviously not wanting to actually use the carousel as most people do, and took a higher, wider line. Very interesting line that is from DJ. So maybe that's the way to do it. Niggle down in 9th, and then Slowpoke in 10th. After well, that car I've probably battered that car, haven't I? Yes, me and the mechanic still have a good relationship. We need to, after the state that I bring the cars back in. But they just get on with it and fix it. They don't really moan at me too much. Oh, and there we go. There's another kiss with barrier. Right, okay, fair enough then. So anyway, Owen Wadrew has got in front of, well, they keep bloody doing this, don't they? Wow, how far do I have to go back? Blimey, I keep missing it. Sorry, Wadrew has managed to get in front of Toby. We've been waiting for it to happen, and then we go and miss it by watching somebody else. So Wadrew now out in front is also leading the championship. This is exactly what he wanted. Toby has dropped down into second with Neil Farmack in third. So we were waiting for Wadrew to make the move, and then he goes and does it while we're not watching him. So whether it was a mistake from Toby that allowed Wadrew through, we will never know. But Toby's fighting back, isn't he? He's definitely coming back at Wadrew and putting the pressure on. Toby having a bit of a look up the inside. Well, this is the closest we've got to a race since the start. As the, well, where are we? We're about 2/3 of the way through this lap, so we've got another 2 laps after this. Can Wadrew stay in front? We're going to just stick with these just for a few turns and onto the straight, because we watched Toby on the last lap and he looks very, very quick on the straight. And I do believe it's Porsche against Audi. I'm not 100% sure. I did have it all written down, but as usual I've gone and put it somewhere and lost it. I'll see if I can find it, of who was in which car, but no, there's bits of paper everywhere. All that matters is Wadrew is out in front, Toby in second, but Toby is definitely in the slipstream of Wadrew. Now, can he make a move? So let's jump on board with Toby. Well, you can see the difference there, can't you? Look, he absolutely flew by Wadrew as if he wasn't even moving. R18, who's in the R18? Wadrew trying to stay in the slipstream of Toby, but Toby's car looks so fast in a straight line, and it looks like Wadrew was struggling to keep up. So Toby retakes the lead, and Wadrew has to sit behind him again, but Wadrew definitely looks quicker through the turns. Right, so Toby's in the Audi, and that's so the Audi is obviously a lot faster in a straight line than the Porsche. Thank you, Fazer, for that. So yeah, massive speed difference, but Wadrew definitely looks quicker through the corners. So we're just going to stick with these. In fact, this is about as close as we got to a race anyway, so we will stick with these. This is for the overall championship, as Wadrew has a bit of a look at Toby now. It's side by side. Wadrew having to go all the way around the outside. Can't quite get it done. Toby takes the tighter line, and manages to hold on to P1 for now. Wadru's still there though. We'll go on board with Wadru this time as we go down the hill, and then they will come up through the chicane, and then they will turn left and enter onto the Nordschleife. So through the chicane they go. Oh, Wadru, I thought he'd gone too wide there, but obviously not. Still on the tarmac, and he is still staring at the back end of Toby's car. So now it's foot down and try and catch up to the back of Toby. Just while we're on board with Wadru, I do want to say actually a massive thank you to Wadru, to Andy, who's been helping me out this week with my wheel. He's had a look at it and he's fixed it. He is a bit of a wizard with the technical stuff, so I do want to give him a massive shout out and a thank you to Andy Dents Ellis. Bit of a shameful plug there for the business, but I'm allowed to do it, it's my channel. So yeah, Andy Dents Ellis out in Loughborough. But at the minute he's got all his concentration pointing down. Oh, bit of a mistake again from Wadru. He's just pushing too hard. He's going to win this championship, but I think he wants to do it with a win on the final race as well. He's definitely quicker through the turns. As you can see, he's gaining all the time on Toby. It's just on that straight. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, I think the best thing Wadru could do is, if he can get close enough, is just sit behind Toby until he gets to near the end of the straight. Use him to pull him along, because he's not going to beat that Audi in a straight line. So if he just sits behind Toby all the way to the end of the straight and then makes his move, he's definitely quicker through the turns, I think. Let's have a bit of on board with Toby, and we can look behind and have a look and see what it looks like as he looks in the mirror. And we can see Wadru just behind. These guys really are top drivers, aren't they, in these cars? They're so difficult to handle these things. We see Wadru getting closer and closer. Can't really see much out of that, can you? It is literally like looking through a letterbox. And where do you put your cup? Your coffee cup? There's no room in these things at all, is there? So as we just have a quick glance behind then, Wadru getting closer and closer as Toby tries to keep him behind. Oh, throttle down here. Fantastic racing. 180, 181. Oh, Toby goes very deep, and now surely that's allowed Wadru through. It has. Wadru has taken full advantage. Toby went too deep into that turn. Both of these guys decided to actually go on the carousel as opposed to Grasshopper's route of going around it. But a mistake from Toby has let Wadru through, so Wadru now up into P1. Now Wadru really does need to try and pull away from Toby, open up a bit of a gap, because he knows how quick Toby is in a straight line. And if they get onto the straight and they are this close to each other, then I'm almost sure that Toby is going to retake the lead again. So, shall we stay with them or shall we go? We'll just have a very quick rundown, shall we? Neil Farmack in third, Brian is still in fourth, Fraser is fifth, we've got Dirk in sixth, Unforgiven seventh, Grasshopper is eighth, Niggle is ninth. Oh, 1 second penalty for Niggle, and Slowpoke, well, had enough. So we are back up to our leader Wadru as we are fast approaching the very fast straight as these two guys come up behind the Group 3 leader Dirk. I'm sure Dirk will want to get out of the way as quick as he can, and he does, as Wadru and Toby go through. Now Wadru just could not open up a big enough gap to Toby. Toby in second then. He'll be looking at making the move on Wadru when they get onto the straight round this final turn, and then it is foot down. And I just don't think Wadru has got the pace to fend off Toby on this straight. Toby in the slipstream. There we go, he pulls to the inside. Gets the move done. Wadru tries to slot in behind Toby again as he chases him down towards the end of lap 8, but you can see Toby already, he's starting to open up a bit of a gap, I think. So that Audi just too quick in a straight line for Wadru's Porsche. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Oh, I know why that is. It's because, well, I'm parked on the start finish line, not in the way, obviously. Just trying to reprogram the sat nav so that I can find my way around the track again. So Wadru back in second position then, where he seems to be frustratingly for most of this race. Toby back out in front. Championship points at the minute. Wadru leading on 147 points. Toby just behind him in second on 133 points. So if it stays like this with Toby and in P1 and Wadru in P2, I think Wadru will have the championship sewn up. He would like to finish with a win, I'm sure, but it's not absolutely necessary, but he does need to finish the race. Now if he gets a did not finish, then Toby will snatch it. As these two battle on, so Wadru looking to get by Toby again and retake the lead. Now if he can do it early as they now enter onto the Nordschleife, Wadru might be able to open up a little bit of a gap, but as we've seen, passing on this section of track is so difficult. And here we go, they turn left and now go out into out into the countryside really. Apparently this track was built in the 1920s, so it's old. That's over 100 years, isn't it? 1920s. So these two really are where the battle at. So let's have a look. Neil Farmack dropped down to third, and he's now lost touch of the two guys in front. I really don't want to leave them. They're having a fantastic battle. As soon as I leave them, the lead changes. Brian Moncani down in fourth. Fazer is fifth. These guys are all on their own. Dirk he is winning the Group 3 challenge. He is on his final lap. Unforgiven in seventh. Grasshopper in 8th, Niggle 9th, and then well, I'm still having problems with the sat nav, can't quite get it to work. So back up to the sharp end then. Toby leading Wadru, and we're going to stay with these guys because this is where the fight is. Everybody else is just sort of trundling around the track, enjoying the view. These two are the only two actually racing at the minute. Fantastic shot that is, isn't it? Of Toby's car. And these two have been at it since the race started, so they've had a fantastic race. I mean, how they concentrate. Oh, as Wadru goes up the inside of Toby and retakes the lead. Fantastic move from Wadru. Toby goes very deep into that turn, but manages to gather it up. And he keeps going. So Wadru now leads this race. He'll be looking, he really does need to get away from Toby and open up a gap. Toby trying to get by him again, going all over the grass. I think that's what Wadru will be waiting for, a mistake from Toby if he starts pushing too hard. I said earlier, I think Wadru is slightly quicker through the turns. And if that's the case, he does need to, as I say, start pulling away from Toby, because once they get back onto the straight, then Toby's, well, he's just got the pace, hasn't he, to go flying by. So this is what Wadru's looking for. He wants to open up a gap, and at the minute I don't think it's enough. We'll quickly jump on board with Wadru. Toby's still there, look. Full throttle through this section. Then hard on the brakes. A couple of turns before we get to the carousel. Oh, and Wadru's got it wrong. Now then, has Toby got the momentum? No, Wadru just manages to stay in front. I thought he may have opened the door too much for Toby, but it wasn't. Toby couldn't take advantage, and Wadru manages to stay in front. But like I've said before, I don't think the gap is big enough, and Wadru is going to be, well, he's going to be a sitting duck, isn't he, on the straight. And I think Toby knows that. He's just got to stick with him. He doesn't have to do anything silly. He's just got to sort of stay within touching distance of Wadru, because he knows he'll get him on the straight. And there's not a lot Wadru can do about it either, which is the frustrating part. So just a few more turns, and we will be on the straight for the final time. Wadru desperately trying to pull away from Toby, but he just can't do it, can he? Toby's there, he's just hanging in. Oh, as I say that, Toby slams into the barrier. I bet Wadru couldn't believe his luck. We are getting very close to the final couple of turns before they get onto the straight, and Toby just slams into the barrier there. And that, I think, will be enough for Wadru. He has definitely broken the slipstream, and I just don't think Toby's going to catch that gap up. It's just too big for him, even in that Audi. Wadru will have his foot down hard. He'll be pressing it through the floor of that Porsche, trying to get that extra little bit of pace out of it. 182, 183. Toby is at 190. Wow, you can see the difference in speed, but Wadru has made it to the end through the last final few turns, and a great victory, a good hard fought victory for Wadru, and a championship win as well. So well done to Wadru. Toby coming in second. Either of those guys deserved the win today. A fantastic race from the pair of them, it really was. Neil Farmack coming in third, he'll be pleased with that. He got the fastest lap as well, a 7:03.8, so well done to Neil Farmack in third. Brian Moncani, he will finish in fourth, although he seems to be having issues with his car as well. Fazer, well, he's just been on the beach in fifth. I think everybody has come off. I think there's only Toby and Toby came off as well, didn't he? So everybody has come off, and a crash. I think Brian's waiting for Fazer actually, just so that they can have a bit of a run-in together, and fair play to them. It's been a bit of a lonely race for these two guys. They've been so spread out. So I'm sure Brian's just nice to. It's just nice to have somebody alongside him as Fazer decides to not bother with the tarmac at all. I know exactly how that feels for those two. Derg, though, he's going to cross the line to take the win and the championship. So well done to Derg. Fantastic season for him, and yeah, he deserved that. So yeah, well done to Derg. Unforgiven, well, he's going to cross the line in seventh eventually. managed to get away from Grasshopper, so whether Grasshopper has had a bit of an issue or Unforgiven is just too quick for him, but I'm looking in the distance and we can't even see Grasshopper. So well done to Unforgiven. He's coming in 7th or 2nd in the Group 3 race. And we shall watch Unforgiven come across the line backwards. Dramatic finish to his race. The Grasshopper, he's going to come across the line in 8th. Now, as I've mentioned before, if you want to get involved in some of these races, you think you can do better, or you just want to get out there and have a bit of fun with these guys, just come and check us out on the Ultimate Racing League Facebook page or at the website, URL ultimateracingligue.com. We've got, as well as the Wednesday leagues, we've got the Sunday, which is the big one. We've actually got 5 leagues running on a Sunday. I think there is a race on Tuesday, definitely the Wednesday. I think the race is Friday. There is the Saturday championship as well. So plenty going on, plenty to get involved in. Niggle in 9th. I think everybody's will is totally broken now. This track has just zapped everybody. And Wayne says, well done, Andy. Yeah, well done to Andy for the championship win. Fantastic season all round. So that was the end of the Wednesday multi-class. We will be back with another Wednesday championship, as I mentioned earlier. We're not quite sure what it's going to be yet. There is talk of maybe the Beetle or the MX-5 or the Super Formula F1 style cars. So have a look on the Facebook page. There is a vote going up there. If you want to get involved, have a look at that, where you can vote for what car, etc., etc. And I shall catch most of you again, well, Monday, Tuesday, something like that, where I'll be bringing you the results of League 4's Sunday Championship. I shall see you all again. Thanks for watching.